These are the brand new OnePlus Buds Pro 3. They cost $179, but at the time of filming, they're already $20 off. So for $150, they need to be able to compete with the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, the Nothing Ear, the AirPods 3, and other great earbuds in this class. Well, OnePlus aims to do that and even more. They come in under the price of the premium earbuds like the Sonys, the Bose, the AirPods Pro, the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, and even the Jabras. Yet, at the same time, in typical OnePlus fashion, they're offering some massive specs and really aiming to deliver the best from the flagships at this lower price. Well, let's see how they do that. In this video, of course, I'm going to get into a microphone test, an ANC test, a transparency test, talk about the sound quality. But before we do any of that, let's start off with the design. It's kind of a relatively unique design. It's kind of OnePlus's new style. The case shape is similar to their budget model, and I don't know, I think it's a pretty decent case. It doesn't stand upright, or it's kind of like a little pill shape in every direction, actually. And it does have wireless charging, but it actually weirdly has that on the front. It has a button, but weirdly on the side. Like, everything about this design is just a little bit different than I'm used to with other earbuds, which is not a bad thing. And looking at it, you can see kind of a very unique aesthetic as well. A plastic, fake kind of leather look to the outside. It comes in two different colors. One that is kind of an off-white with silvery, gold-ish accents all the way around, and the other one more of a black colorway. The case seems fairly durable. It doesn't seem to scratch from my fingernails, and I don't know, I actually kind of like how the case looks a lot. The earbuds, however, are matching, of course. They're going to be that same kind of off-white color here, but I'm not the biggest fan of the aesthetic here just because it's such a high gloss stem that when you wear it, like it's a little bit, it draws a lot more attention than I would typically like. Maybe that's a style that you want and you like that, but they do also kind of collect a couple fingerprints on them as well. Otherwise, as far as fit and comfort go, they fit and they feel a lot like the AirPods Pro as you would expect, having that very familiar geometry that so many earbuds these days have. Otherwise, we do have touch controls on them. There's kind of a grippy side of the stem. It's going to be really difficult to film this, but there's like a textured side on one side there that is going to be used for volume controls for one. So you could slide your finger up and down that, which is fantastic. But you could also use it to, it feels like pinch controls, but they're actually just touch controls only on that side. But you get a pinch in order to actually get a touch registered on that side. One small concern I have with these is the R and the L, indicating the right from the left, of course, are engraved in the plastic. And I do worry that dirt or something else will just get in there, dust, whatever. And it's going to be really hard to clean that out. So they could potentially be a little bit gross in the future if that R or that L gets kind of filled in, but who knows? At least from now, my use, I haven't experienced that at all. That's just kind of a future. If you have this for a year or two, I don't know, maybe that would happen. These are IP55 water and dust resistant, so better than we'd expect, better than a standard IPX4, but not the best of the best out there. Should be fine for working out, but I wouldn't expect to, dunk these in water and hope that they work after that. Additionally, much like AirPods, because we don't have wingtips on these, for me personally, I struggled to go on long runs with these. As soon as you're moving around a lot or if there's any kind of sweat anywhere near your ears, like for me, the left earbud comes out. Some people have no problem with this, but every ear is different, and these are sort of a one-size-fits-all approach. However, there are several different ear tips, silicone ear tips that come in the box, so you can find the best one for you. Additionally, I thought this was really interesting. I like how it's such a clean, minimal design on the inside there, and you might wonder, all right, well, do these actually have the ability to sense when they're in your ears? Like, they don't see a sensor right there, but they actually do. They do have ear detection, and it works quite well. So taking them out, they'll automatically pause, and putting them in, they start playing as well. The battery is an interesting aspect of these. Obviously, battery is going to depend with other earbuds as well, but with these in particular, it ranges quite a bit if you have ANC on or off, which codec you're using, what volume you're using. And I think for most people who are using AAC, like a fairly common codec, having active noise cancellation on and listening at like about 50% volume, you could probably expect to get about 6 hours in earbuds and about 26 hours with the case. However, if you're using the premium codec, which I'll talk about when we get to the sound quality, it's definitely going to drain it a lot faster. But you can recharge these fairly quickly. Like I said, they do have wireless charging if you want to just face down charge them. But for the quick charging, you just plug them into USB Type-C, 10 minutes gives you 5.5 hours of listening. And I believe that's 5.5 hours with active noise cancellation off it. And again, probably using your AAC codec there. Unfortunately, these do not have Qi 2 wireless charging. That's kind of like a new thing. I wouldn't really expect that on these, but it's something that I am expecting to see in more earbuds in the next year or two. So I'm very excited for that to come out and really start being adopted. These don't have that just yet. Again, not really a big deal for these. So with that being said, let's actually get into a microphone test. All right, so this is an audio test with the microphones in an indoor environment. It's probably as easy as it gets for these microphones. They do have 3 microphones and a bone conduction sensor on either earbud, so that's a lot to work with. But let me know how these sound in a phone call. Of course, we'll go outside to a louder environment, but let me know what you think of these. So I'm out here by a pretty busy road. A lot going on out here. Let me know what the microphones sound like in a louder environment. It's also a little bit breezy here. And let me know what you think of these sunglasses. These are my biking sunglasses. They're too bright out though, so I had to wear them. But yeah, let me know what you think of the buds. Alright, and now for the active noise cancellation. Always a hot topic with earbuds, and with these, I think it's just very interesting because it's not always black and white when you're looking at the active noise cancellation. You can't just say, how strong is the ANC? Because you have to factor in other things like how much white noise goes through, what is it, what kind of frequencies does it block, in like total silence, is it actually silent, or are you hearing some type of hissing or anything like that? And so with these, we do have claims that they are stronger now than they were in the past, and in addition to that, they claim to have improved voice cancellation, which of course I did test all of that. And so starting off with like just the white noise, if you're on a jet or something like that, these are substantially stronger than the previous generation, at least from my testing. And they can be a little finicky. Sometimes they don't go to their max ability, even though in the settings you set them on high. Sometimes if the fit's not perfect, or I don't know why exactly the algorithm chooses to do this, but sometimes it's not maxed out. But when it is maxed out, I was blocking upwards of 60.9 decibels. But let me first explain my test. I play the sound of a jet at a set distance away. I turn that volume up while the earbuds are in my ears and attempting to block that sound as much as possible. And I turn the volume up until the earbuds are no longer able to block that. The threshold at which I deem they're no longer able to block it is when it's just louder than like my breathing. It's louder than you would comfortably have as like a non-noticeable sound out there. So these, in that aspect, did a really good job. That's very, very powerful and competes with the best earbuds out there. But it wasn't a perfect clean cut there. While it did block a lot of that sound, there were definitely plenty of artifacts and a lot of kind of like different white noise, kind of like hissing kind of going on with the earbuds. It wasn't like a clean total silence that it was able to achieve from that. So again, a little bit weird. I want to put a big asterisk next to that one. Even though it's blocking a lot, and that's very, very impressive, it's not quite as good as some of the other premium ones out there in the way it actually executes that. With all things considered, in this price point, I think it's, punching definitely above its weight here. As far as blocking other noises, like higher voices, lower voices, crowd sounds, and stuff like that, again, it's a really noticeable improvement over the previous generation, and I have to say I am very impressed. I think these, if we added something like foam ear tips on them, which you can definitely get aftermarket, I think these would really be doing a great job because those foam tips would be acting to really block a lot of the higher frequencies as well that come with like human voices. And I think that combo could really deliver something very impressive here. Now, talking about the transparency or the pass-through or whatever you really want to call it on these earbuds, the ability to hear your surroundings when you're wearing them if you turn that setting on. Honestly, this is probably one of the weakest parts of these earbuds. I feel like right now I have it on, I can barely hear anything. It sounds like I just kind of plugged my ears. It doesn't really sound like these are doing much at all. In fact, if I toggle it from on to off, I notice like a little bit of a difference just on the high end of my voice, not so much on the low end. It sounds very compressed and tunnely. Definitely something that I would like to see an update. This, of all features, needs a lot of work with these earbuds. As far as the sound quality goes with these, let's start off with the specs and then kind of more of subjective my analysis here. The specs, these do have, of course, SBC and AAC, the common codecs that most people are going to be using on most phones out there, but some Android phones do have the ability to have LHDC. So the Oneplus Open Apex Edition has been my everyday phone lately, and testing with this phone, like very high resolution, very good codec, but of course you're going to be using more battery power with that. In the earbuds, we have some very interesting changes here. So we have an 11mm woofer and a 6mm tweeter. So dual drivers on each earbud and dual DACs there on each earbud. So that should be giving us more control over the highs and lows. When you're listening to these, there definitely is a lot of control. Unfortunately, the equalizer doesn't give you as much as I would like. It's not like Nothing, so Nothing like the brand Nothing. Their equalizer gives you a lot that you're able to do in the app for the Nothing Ear and even for the Nothing Ear A as well. But these, just kind of a traditional multi-band equalizer that works well enough. As far as listening to these, like the sound that I was getting on them, I find that it is a little bit quieter. So I was listening at a higher volume than I was with other earbuds. They tend to be a little bit bass heavy and like they're not perfect, but for this price, definitely very impressive. I think a lot of people listening to these would be quite happy with the sound that we're getting. Now, getting into the features of these earbuds, of course, these do have dual connectivity, which is nice, multi-point, so connect your phone and your laptop and switch seamlessly. They also have Bluetooth 5.4, which some, like premium flagship earbuds, still don't even have. I haven't seen any mention of Auracast, though. So for like TV nerds who really want that, unfortunately, I don't believe these have that, or at least I didn't see it anywhere on the spec sheets. You can use the Hey Melody app. However, I didn't install that. Instead, you're able to just really manage a lot with these earbuds just in your settings on your phone. So let's actually go on my OnePlus Open and I'll show you exactly what I mean here. On my OnePlus Open Apex Edition here, if we go into my settings and I just go to the connected device, so I just look on Bluetooth, you'll see right here, it's going to show me like the media audio. So right now, LHDC is the codec I'm using. It tells me it's using it for phone calls and all the normal settings you'd expect to see. But on the bottom, we do have Find Device, which is very convenient. It just plays a sound over the earbuds. And in addition, you have earbud functions. If you tap on that, this is kind of an embedded app within here showing me, of course, the earbuds on the left, and on the right side, you can see the noise control. You're able to adjust that. You have the Sound Master EQ, which as you can see, like I mentioned before, there are a lot of presets here. So you can go to, like Dynaudio, EQ'd a lot of these. There's some featured ones on here. And like I said, the EQ is pretty good. Sometimes it's a little bass heavy, but going through a lot of these, I think most people, probably 90% of people would listen to these and just think it's absolutely like, good enough for their use. If you say add equalizer, like I mentioned, we do have that, the 6-band EQ down here. So not quite as detailed as I would like, but again, for the price for what they're doing here, definitely more than passable. These do have spatial audio. I am not the biggest fan of that. I don't really use it all that often, but it is cool when it does work really well, in some media that you might be consuming. There is golden sound, which allows you to customize based on your canal and your hearing tests. So they'll play a whole bunch of tones on either ear. You say when you can hear them, when you can't hear them. And that's going to essentially tailor the earbuds for your ears. Going down here, we have neck health. You have to connect to O Health for that, but essentially these earbuds have accelerometers in them, so they can tell when you're looking down for too long and different things like that. Zen Mode Air is going to just, I believe it just plays white noise or different calming sounds. I used Summer Waves before, but there are a bunch of other ones you can check out down there. Some people sleep with the earbuds as well, so maybe that would be a good time to use it. Or if you're just working and you want to block out other sounds and you don't want music because that's distracting, like, hey, Zen Mode Air could be the move for you. We do have the ability to customize earbud controls. I know some other people mentioned they were not able to do that. That may have been like a beta version of the app from a while ago. But at least right here, I am able to customize both the left and the right, every single function, like all 4 of them here. And so, like, you can check it out, and there's a bunch of different options for how to customize those. Other functions these do have the ability to listen to just one earbud at a time while the other is in the case. Bluetooth 5.4 is, of course, enabling that. And that's kind of the summary of these earbuds. So did they do it? Did they actually deliver the flagship experience in a more budget-friendly pair of earbuds? Well, I think the toughest comparison for these is actually going to be the Nothing Ear. These earbuds cost the same price, and in my opinion, they have a better EQ, slightly better sound, and a better aesthetic as well. But besides that, these do have stronger active noise cancellation, and they check a lot of boxes, delivering some specs way above their weight class. So let me know what you think about the OnePlus Buds Pro 3. Honestly, a very worthy competitor in the earbud landscape, and I'm happy to see these come out.